17-year-old sister is pregnant does not seem like a positive, beneficial thing to many. And like many, I reacted negatively, as I did not see all the upsides that it came with. Little did I know that this would change me and my family's life for the better for the rest of our lives. The arrival of my nephew and godchild Zayden into my life has been one of the most beneficial things that could have happened to me. Throughout all the ups and downs my family has experienced, the positives have outweighed the negatives, making this whole experience worth it. 3 major life changes he's caused to happen in my life were teaching me responsibility, teaching me how to love like nobody I've ever loved before, and teaching me the importance of mending my broken relationship with my sister. My personal growth and responsibility is one of the things that I can't thank him enough for. Being only 16 years old when he was born, I was still in high school and very immature. Hearing that I would now take on the role of being an aunt and godmother, I was forced to grow up quicker than most. I learned how influential he would be because I lived with him for the first 6 months of his life. The first 6 months of a child's life are very, very vulnerable for them, making all the things I say and do easy for him to pick up on. Since we lived in the same house, the majority of my life and his life we spent together. After he turned 6 months old, him and my sister moved out, but they didn't move far, still living in the same city, so I still saw them at least 3 times a week. Once summer hit, his daycare did not work out for him anymore, so I became his primary babysitter and one of his primary caretakers. I had never experienced a motherly role like this before where I caused such a big influence on someone's life. This forced me to be responsible not only for myself, but for him. Even when I wasn't babysitting him, I needed to make sure I was making responsible decisions so I could be there early in the morning when he needed me and not let him or my sister down. Of all the things Zayden has taught me, responsibility was important, but not the only thing. Another important thing he has taught me is how to love someone like never before. My relationship with Zayden was like no other relationship I had ever experienced. So that taught me to love him in a different way and develop a new bond with him, like one I had never experienced before. I never had played a somewhat motherly role in someone's life until Zayden was born. Although I'm not his mother, I'm his aunt and godmother and was with him the majority of his life and still plan to be. I also became one of his primary babysitter and one of his primary caretakers. I never realized how much love I could have for someone until he was born. My sister had gotten into a fair amount of trouble growing up, and once she got pregnant, that all changed. She completely changed her life around so that she could become the best mother for Zayden possible. This also made me love Zayden even more because seeing how he changed my sister's life for the better developed a lot of love for him from me. The second she found out she was pregnant, her life changed forever. I've developed an unconditional bond with him. He is the only person I know that can change my mood in an instant. No matter how sad or upset I am, the second I see him laugh or say something funny or even say my name through a FaceTime call, he can change my mood. I can never thank him enough for that. Throughout all the love and happiness and responsibility he has brought into my life, that is not all he has done for me. Me and my sister had a broken relationship growing up as we did not always get along, and he changed that for us for the better. My sister getting pregnant brought a whole new aspect into our relationship. Growing up, my parents tried to force us to get along, but it never worked because neither of us were motivated to do so. We had a pretty negative relationship and no motivation to fix it. When I found out she was pregnant, I was still upset. I wouldn't talk to her because I was mad and I thought it was selfish. One night, I realized how none of that mattered anymore. We fought all the time and didn't get along. And when I decided that wasn't worth it anymore, I apologized for everything and asked if we could start over. When she heard what I had to say, she told me she felt the exact same way. We both apologized and realized it was time for us to grow up as we needed to do so. This was the first time our relationship had ever changed because we wanted it to. Our parents had always wanted us to be friends, but could not seem to find out how to do so. Now that we get along, we've actually turned out to be really good friends. We get along very well, spend a lot of time together, and I talk to her about almost everything that goes on in my life. I know this would have happened at some point, but at such a young age for both of us, I don't know how quickly that would have happened. And thanks to Zayden, we were forced to get over all the things that we didn't get along and become the best of friends and the best of sisters so that we could be the best we could for him. Of all the things I thank Zayden for, I can't thank him enough for all the things he has taught me. The responsibility, love, and the mending of a broken relationship with my sister that he has helped me accomplish in my life makes me love him unconditionally. I am excited to be there with him for the rest of his life and see all the lessons I teach him and he teaches me.